Start.
Yes, sir. Please start.
Okay, is the screen visible? Just once more you tell me, then I will proceed.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so a
sir.
very good Okay, so I start. Very good morning to all of you. At the very outset, I would like to thank Debrupa ma'am for giving me this opportunity. Now, today's class, I don't call it a class actually, I'm sorry. My presentation is something related to the security issues which is associated with e-payment. Now, you see, friends, what happens is in this pandemic times, uh, from each and every government level, we are repeatedly asked not to leave our home unless and until it is necessary. And this is for the our health and other associated issues. So, okay, we are not living. If it is not required, we are not living. But the question is, if it is not required, we are not living. But the question is, that doesn't mean that our payment related affairs will stop. In fact, I can vouch on this that when we are back in something called old normal, then also you will find that this electronic payment related issues, they will gain tremendous mileage, they will gain tremendous importance, and they will be a part of our day-to-day life. Even we are back after this pandemic period gets over, because there are many advantages which these electronic payment systems offer us. And in today's lecture, in today's presentation, I am going to make you aware, and at the same time I would like to receive questions, I would like to receive feedbacks, I would like to receive your observations, highlighting on the security issues which is associated with electronic payment system. Because this is something, unless and until we are aware of, you see, electronic payments all of us can make, if not majority of us can make. But the question is, are we aware of the security issues? Now, first and foremost, I would just like to highlight upon this much, that why will we go for the electronic payment? Because before trying to move into the security issues, we must understand that why is it necessary? To be honest, is it at all necessary? Now, here are the advantages, here are the reasons, here are the factors. Number one is, it is highly flexible in terms of timing. Round the clock, you can pay even at 2 a.m., you can pay even at 2 p.m., anytime you feel like, and no holidays. Now, electronic payment, there is no question of holidays, public holidays, curfew, bandh, anything. You can pay whenever you want to. And this is the point number 3, with which I began my lecture. The no problem during lockdowns. It is lockdown, it is curfew, it is anything. Now, this is the only way out, because even in banks, you know, the working hours are reduced. Now, in every bank, every Saturday and Sunday, right now, earlier it was alternate Saturdays holiday, every Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was holiday, it's okay, but every Saturday. So they are basically having a minimum of 8 holidays a month, because at least 1 month has 4 Saturdays and 4 Sundays. Very fast. I generally make electronic payment. I try to make electronic payment. Primarily, I use NEFT. I don't use GPay. I will tell you why. I'm not against it, but I will tell you why. And most importantly, the moment you pay, the moment the transaction, the moment the transfer is complete, the moment the fund is transferred from Mr. A's account to Mr. B's account, automatically, you know, the information is available. Instantaneously, the information is available. Then comes, you have more than one number of payments. Number 1 is NEFT. Number 2 is Google Pay. Many others are there. I'm not going into the types. And most importantly, each and every transaction is recorded. If time permits, I will tell you a real life example of the last point, which will make you understand, which happened with me only just 1 month back, and you will understand the importance of this last point. Each and every transaction is recorded. Apparently it is very harmless, obviously it has to be recorded, but what is the advantage of this recording of transactions? You will understand. If time permits, I will tell you a real-time example which happened with me only last month. Okay. Now, having said the advantages, these are some of the questions which I have prepared and which I want all of us, including myself, to think. How do we keep our confidential information safe? Now, definitely we know what is confidential information, but the question is, do we know how do we keep it safe? For example, I ask you, Acha, tell me your bank account number. You can tell me your bank account number, not a big deal. If I ask you how many people you have sent your cancelled check images over the last 1 month, at least I do not remember, at least 4 or 5 occasions I had to send cancelled check images. The images of a check where my name is printed, I had to cancel and send it. Is it safe? What common mistakes do we make? Now, why did I go for the word common mistake? Because you see, these mistakes now, we know they are mistakes. Often, we don't know they are mistakes. Please note my words carefully. We know they are mistakes. And sometimes we don't know they are mistakes. Even then we make it. Then what safety measures should we undertake? This is another very important area. Okay, I have understood how to keep my information safe. I have understood the mistakes that we make knowingly, unknowingly. Then obviously we need to understand what safety measures should we take. And last but most importantly, this point I found very interesting while I was preparing the presentation for you people. Can we at all do anything if any undesirable incident takes place? Can we at all do anything? Very important. Can we at all do anything? Okay. Remaining presentation, we will try to answer these questions one after the other. Now, please try to understand, students. This is something which I have put in bracket. We can minimize the risk, we cannot eliminate the risk. In electronic payment, you can only minimize the risk. Minimize it to the maximum extent. And I'm sorry to say there is no foolproof measure. At least there is no foolproof measure which will warranty that no, there cannot be anything, this, my information is 110% safe. No, I can say risk is negligible. Risk is minimum, almost zero, but this 100% assurance is not there. So I begin with a very, very traditional point, which apparently you can think that, sir, why have you put this point at the beginning? Keep all information written in a notebook. And within brackets, you see I've written no soft copy. Why? I can tell you that there are examples in the society around us when a person is sick, his or her family members don't even know the password, the login ID, and other details associated to make an electronic payment from a particular bank. I have seen and people suffering like anything. Now they are saying that we don't know, the person is sick, the person is hospitalized, or there is an emergency, the person, God forbid, has come across an accident. So please keep your information written in a notebook and make at least one of your family members aware of it. Apparently, this is a very simple measure. Apparently, this is a very, I will say, you can say, sir, it's not that important. But I am telling you, at the time of crisis, these 2 points, point number 1 and 2, they will come to the rescue like anything. Then comes this third point. Please do not photocopy your personal documents from any public place. Any public place means quote unquote Xerox shop. Because you are not sure whether the person who is making a photocopy of your documents Is he making only one copy or more than one copy? If I ask you, what are the shops from where you make photocopy of your documents? I to make from one particular shop opposite to my building, and I have learned it through experience. But you see the KYC documents. KYC means your PAN, your Aadhaar, your voter. Now friends, would you like to get this document shared with somebody whom you doesn't even know? Of course not. Because if you are sharing, in 9 out of 10 cases, there may not be any risk. But the risk which will exist in 1 out of that 10 case, that will make you understand the weather is rough. So automatically, please avoid, as much as possible, please avoid taking photocopy of your confidential documents from any public place. Alternatively, please scan your documents and take a printout. If you don't have a printer, I'm sure you have a group of reliable friends and at least one of your friend has a printer. Or maybe you can scan your documents using your mobile. Nowadays, everyone has mobile, high-end mobiles. Then from your friend's place, you take a printout. Believe me, students, this is important. Don't let your confidential documents go outside in the name of photocopy, and make sure to whom you are giving a signed hard copy of your KYC and why are you giving it. Most importantly, banks want it, fine, you are giving it. But before that, at least ask them that why do you need it? Okay, if you find that they really need it, make a covering letter and get it signed by them, stamped by them, that they have received your KYC documents on this particular date, so that next time when they ask for your KYC documents, you can at least produce that letter that, okay, I'm giving it, but make it a point. Last time, 3 months back, when I gave this photocopy, you see, you received the letter. Now, this is very important. Please do not share your personal identification number, that is the PIN, and the card verification value, that is the CVV, with anybody. Students, you will never share your PIN. I know that. You're intelligent enough, you're secured enough. From that side, you are secured enough that you will never share your PIN. But many cases you will find when some fraud calls are made, they are not interested to know the PIN even. They are interested to know your credit card number or your debit card number, the name, and then they will ask you for the CVV, card verification value. In spite of innumerable campaign from the police side, in spite of innumerable campaign in social media, people are still giving their CVV. After that money is lost, then they are biting their nails. They have no option. And it is happening only because of them. PIN, majority doesn't share. But please don't share your CVV. And please have an extra long PIN with easy to remember numbers. Now, this is something very important. You see, many a times what we do is, in the name of generating PIN, either we put our birthday or we put a very commonly known date. For example, 150847, 15/8/47, the Independence Day. Now, what do I mean by have an extra long PIN with easy to remember numbers? You people are doing your BCA, so you understand it better. For example, you give a PIN like, say your birthday is 20th October, say 2002. So you write like this, 201002, and then reverse the order, 021020, something like this, depending on the number of digits they allow, obviously. But please have extra long PIN with easy to remember numbers. That means if the PIN allows you to insert 8 numbers, please write all the 8 numbers. If they want you a minimum of 8 numbers, please give all the minimum of 8 numbers. And then they should be easy to remember. Don't give such a number, after that you only yourself forget. It's not a problem at all if you give your birthday. It's not a problem at all if you give your Independence Day. It's not a problem at all any day you think worth remembering in your life. But after that, make a small combination of that day and increase the number of digits as much as applicable. Because at the end of the presentation, you will find that how we are absolutely helpless, God forbid, if there is any problem, if there is any mishap, if there is any, I would say, loot of money from our accounts. You see, I have purposely given the image of a CVV security code. It's a hypothetical one. You can well find the reference that I have given, the blog, the link from where I have copied this image. Since it is a seminar, wherever I use any image from the internet, I make it a point to give the reference so that I claim no authorship, I claim no originality. You can easily click on this link and find out this image. This is the image that I was referring to. Please be very careful of the image, and please be very careful. This particular CVV code you are not giving to anyone whatsoever. I have found people, you may not believe me, I have found people, they are making photocopy of their credit cards from a public domain. They are making photocopy of their debit cards from a public domain. Imagine the level of insecurity they are welcoming. Imagine I don't blame anyone, my dear friends, but the point is, why should we take a chance? Okay. Now comes, what common mistakes do we make? Now this is something very common, you know, different passwords for different cards, difficult to remember. What we do is, we have at least, you see, when you open a bank account, you get one debit card free. And I'm sure today, at least each one of you has at least 2 bank accounts. And then you have a credit card. So totally you are having at least 2 debit cards and 1 credit card. If you are not having a credit card, at least you are having 2 debit cards. And then what you are doing, you are giving 2 different passwords, then you get perplexed. Which one is for which one? Then we don't change the passwords unless and until we are compelled. Now make it a point, my dear friends, from today onwards, on a fixed day in a calendar. For example, every 1st April, I change my passwords. And then at every 1st April, I make it a point at least once a year, unless and until I'm compelled, I change my password, and then I write that new password in the notebook for my family. At least one of my family members know it in case of an emergency. Then we go for easy to guess passwords. I told you this point a few minutes back in a different language. Now what we do is, we give a very easy password. Anybody, I know your birthday, I can find it out. Some people I have seen giving their PAN, permanent account number, as their passwords. Why? If it is under compulsion, it's okay. If it's not under compulsion, kindly change your emails. You are giving a very easy to guess password. So please make it a point, your password should not be easy to guess, and that is not that difficult. I just gave you an example. Suppose you are giving a password 1234, then you make the password 4321, or maybe 1230. Then you make the password 0321, where these zeros are not zeros, these zeros are O in capital letter. So it's automatically an alphanumeric combination, so you can easily go for that. Then this is another very common mistake. We are using the same card, and you are using different ATMs to withdraw cash using the same card. That means, you see, if I ask you, okay, you need money, fine. Which are the ATMs from where you withdraw money? Did you ever think in this way? We don't even remember. So it's always better. For example, I have an account with HDFC Bank. I withdraw money either from an HDFC Bank ATM, which is very near to my place, or another syndicate bank ATM, which is near to my place. Other than those 2 banks, I never withdraw using my HDFC debit card. Why? Because time and again it has happened with me that I have withdrawn the money. Sorry, I have taken an attempt to withdraw the money. I have given the PIN. After that, what happens? I see The money has not come out, the amount has been debited and it has been reimbursed to me. If it is a home branch, HDFC to HDFC within 24 hours. If it is a non-home branch, believe me, it took me 7 to 10 working days, not 7 to 10 days, 7 to 10 working days, which include Saturday, Sunday, public holidays. Now, how long will you block this money? And how long will you bear this tension? So it's always better you withdraw your money from a fixed ATM counter or maximum 2 ATM outlets, not more than that, using the same card. Another common mistake, transfer through mobile apps instead of net banking. Why? If there is a provision of using net banking, please try to understand your mobile. We don't even know how much confidential information it contains, what are the passwords it contains. We don't even know any one of them. So it's always better you transfer the amount. You transfer the amount. Use net banking facility, that too from the comfort of your home when there will be no one to disturb, because net banking is a 24/7/365 facility and it is not an emergency. Why will you use your mobile apps? When you are using the mobile apps in public, you are having innumerable number of applications nowadays. Innumerable number. If I ask you how many applications are there, you may not be in a position to answer. You see, the same is with me. Rather, the same was with me. It's not is, it was with me. I had to rectify. And rectify through some odd experiences, obviously. Disclose personal information through emails or phone calls. Now, the police is telling innumerable number of times that don't do this, but still we are hardly paying any value to it. We are disclosing our personal information, answering fake emails, and then we are signing blank forms without even reading it. When you go for opening a bank account, you will find that the officer or the staff will say, sir or ma'am, you sign here. We will fill it up for you. Why? It is your money. See, once you sign, after that they fill up, the entire onus is on you. There is no onus on the bank employee. So please take your time. Tell the person that, look, I am a literate fellow. Give me the form. Allow me to read. Give me 24 hours. Nowadays, you don't need forms also. You can go into the website of the bank instead of spending time in Facebook and social media unnecessarily. Go to the website of the bank. Read the criteria. Read what are the charges, and then you talk to the bank officer, because at the end of the day, that person is a human being. Please try to understand, they also have their own targets to achieve. And we hardly ask why. They are telling, we are doing. Ask why. It is your money. It is your insecurity. It is your tension. You hardly ask why. You see, I am not blaming anybody. Please don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to do is trying to make you aware of what you should do. Then comes, what safety measures should we take? Now, we should not convey everything through social networks. People are getting vaccinated, they are putting it Facebook. Why? Is there any correlation between vaccination and putting the information in Facebook? I fail to understand. Don't make friends with everybody in social network. I have 1,200 people as friend in my social network Facebook account, believe me. I think not 1,200, but at least more than 1,100 people I know. At least I can tell you, why is this fellow my friend? But I don't make friends to make friends just to make friends. I don't make friends to make friends just to make friends. Because I do not know who the person there is. And please don't reply to each and every email. Before you are replying, please try to understand, is the email worth replying? Once you are replying, does it welcome any type of legal complications? When you are replying, are you passing any confidential information unknowingly? When you are replying, is it really important to reply each and every email that comes your way, or you are selective? Once you analyze, you will understand. Please use original operating system and antivirus softwares. Needless to say, I think this point doesn't require any elaboration, because these are the two basic safety measures that you can take If you don't want antivirus, use Ubuntu or any other open source operating system, but please make sure it's an original one. HTTP versus HTTPS. Now, please try to understand, whenever you are surfing any website, when you are going to any website, make sure that it is HTTPS and not HTTP. You will find one lock icon, LOCK, Tala in Bengali, lock icon appearing in the left corner, because it has obtained the secured socket layer certificate, safe to transfer fund. Just log into sxccal.edu, my college website. You will find it is HTTPS. Any website which involves a payment transfer is HTTPS. Make sure that the website which you're accessing, it is HTTPS and not HTTP, because in the first case, the probability of getting into trouble is much more. Transfer from home, I told you a few minutes back, transfer it from the comfort of your home, and please use your own laptop or desktop and your personal network, whether it's cable internet or is Geo, anything personal, and please transfer with time. You make a fixed time. For example, I always transfer after 11 p.m. every time. I make it a point I'm transferring after 11 p.m. unless and until it's an emergency. And I have given here two very important links. The last link is the kolkatapolice.gov.in. Instead of spending time on Facebook and social media, read this link, read this website. You will have innumerable awareness, basic awareness features regarding cyber security. I read it. It's only after that I refer to you people. It's not that I have just referred because I need to refer. Then you go through this particular Wikipedia link, Information Technology Act 2000, section 65 to 74. Particularly these sections, I'll be very happy if you find time to read other sections of the Act, but at least be aware of these sections of the Act. The link is there. You can click on this. You can get the link in a tabular form. What are the punishments? What are the offenses? All are given. Please be aware. Nobody wants you to mug it up. But I would request you, responsible people, we are performing digital transactions. We are most often hyperactive in social media. So please be aware of the IT hacks. I am almost on the verge of my termination or termination of my present. I'm almost on the verge of termination of my presentation. So what to do if any undesirable incident takes place? Number one, don't put it on social media immediately. Now please give up this habit. You will definitely give it only if you feel, and preferably only after the case is solved, not at the very outset. You know why? Number one, this is not going to do any good for you, other than people liking it, commenting it, and all those things. Number two, who knows that the person who was involved in this type of activity is also cautious and aware about what steps are you taking. So for any suspicious website, print the screen and correspondence if any. Now this I have taken from the Kolkata Police website. I have changed the language. Please be sure your documents are absolutely airtight, watertight, because if you go to file a complaint with the police, your social media posting will not help. Your crying, your emotional outburst will not help. What will help is your documents. And if possible, please consult a lawyer, a reliable lawyer, needless to say, before making a complaint, to be aware of the procedures and consequences. Suppose you make a complaint, but the lawyer tells you that, sir, these are the legal implications. So at least you have some parameters on which you can think. Because what happens if there is any problem, you will find people telling you, go to the police. Of course, you will go to the police. That is the first door that needs to be knocked. But before that, it is always advisable you talk with a lawyer if your time permits, if your situation permits. Maybe after you file a complaint, you talk with the lawyer. Because the lawyer is the person, if reliable, again I repeat, will tell you what are the pros and cons of the step that you have taken. Before almost half an hour is over, so before we wind up, before I welcome your questions, suggestions, criticisms, feedback, everything, please remember this thing. Ignorance of law cannot be any excuse. You are answering a fictitious call, displaying your CVV, displaying your password, and then going to the police and saying, sir, I did not know. Nobody is going to listen to that. Please minimize the risk, but not blindly. That means please be cautious, not over cautious. You see, nobody wants you not to make any e-payment. Nobody wants you not to chat in social media. Nobody wants you not to reply emails. But please be cautious, because experience is definitely good, no doubt on that. But in most cases, what happens is we need to pay a very high premium for that. Premium in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of harassment, in terms of tension, what and what not. And then you have innumerable questions to answer when you put it in Facebook. Because you are primarily accountable for what has gone wrong. Nobody else is accountable. I'm sorry to say, I may sound harsh. Please give some time to whatever I'm saying out of your busy schedule. And please be aware of the fact it is your security. It's not my security. It is your security. So you must collaborate with some reliable sources. I told you a few minutes back, if it's a lawyer, the lawyer has to be a reliable one. The lawyer should not misguide you. That you have to be very careful about. And last but not the least, don't use the internet if it is not needed. Ask yourself how many times you spend, how many hours a day you spend with internet. Then ask yourself how many hours a day you need to spend with internet. You will get the answer. I thank you very much for your patient hearing. If any single student is benefited from this presentation, I will believe, I have reasons to believe that I am successful. I look forward for your questions. I look forward for your feedbacks. I look forward for your observations. Devrupa ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank
For
you.
such an enlightening speech. Students, do you want to ask any questions?
Sir,
Most
can
welcome.
you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm student, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. I can hear you. Tell me.
Sir, can you explain KYC? I didn't find any good video on YouTube.
KYC? Sorry, ma'am.
Can you explain, sir, what is KIC?
Your PAN. You have,
KYC.
ma'am, you have your PAN?
Yes,
have
I
your-
have PAN,
you
but
have
it is
Aadhaar?
minor.
Ma'am, 1 minute. You have your PAN, right?
Yes, yes,
You have your Aadhaar, right?
yes.
You have your voter card, right?
No, not
Okay. PAN and Aadhaar you have, right?
Yes.
KYC, the full form is know your customers. Know your customers. When you go to a bank to open an account, they will want this. When you want a new SIM connection, they will want your Aadhaar card. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am, am I able to answer you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more questions?
Any other questions? Anyone want to ask any other question?
Sir, in the
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I.
Tell me.
No, let's wait. Rajdeep, please ask your question.
Yes, tell me, sir. Tell me.
sir, in the beginning, you said that it's not that safe in case of transaction through Google Pay. Can I know, sir, why?
Because it is a third-party service provider. It's a third-party service provider, as simple as that. The onus is on Google, right? If there is any problem, right?
Yes, sir.
If you want to transact through Google Pay, transact it from that account which contains the minimum balance. Money, if the minimum balance in an account is 3,000 rupees, you keep 5,000 and transfer from Google account. Please transfer petty amount from Google Pay. If it's a bigger amount, transfer through NEFT. The onus is also with the bank. Okay, I made a payment of my credit card. After that, after 1 month, I told you this, I will tell you. I just tell you in a nutshell. After that, what happened, you know? After 1 month, I got the statement that I have not made any payment. The only thing that I made was I downloaded my statement from HDFC Bank, sent it to Kotak Bank, where I am whose credit card I am using. Since my documentation was right and I transferred it through bank, I got my amount adjusted in the subsequent bill. If it is Google Pay you are using, make it a point two things. Number one, you are transferring from that bank account. You are transferring from a bank account, Mr. Rajdeep. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
That account contains minimum balance. Maybe 3,000 is minimum, you keep 5,000. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? And you transfer some petty amount,
Yes.
or maybe 6,000.
Yes,
but if there is an option between Google Pay and net NEFT, please go for NEFT. Don't go for Google Pay. It is for security. See, Mr. Rajdeep, I told you a few minutes back, nothing will happen 9 out of 10 cases. But if 1 out of 10 cases, like the one I told you, in my case, I paid credit card using check, HDFC Bank check I issued. After 1 month, I found they have not only denied they have received any amount, they imposed interest, they imposed penalty. Only the 190 rupees or 150 rupees GST I did not get reimbursed. Other than that, all money I got reimbursed money adjusted with the next bill, because what happened was I mailed them with my HDFC bank statement PDF file. I told, see, I have made the payment on this date against this bill. So where am I wrong? They had no answer. They had to give me the money back, adjusted with the next bill. Mr. Rajdeep, am I able to answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions, please?
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Jyotirmoy, tell me.
sir, why is it necessary to turn on location while I am transact from Google Pay?
Why it is necessary to turn on location?
Yes, sir. If I can't do not turn on my location, Google Pay cannot give me access to transact money.
See, I am not exactly aware of the technicalities, but what I can tell you is, before you are transacting a money, Google would like to know the location from where you are transferring the money. Okay. Am I able to answer you?
Yes, sir.
Now, here I am telling you something. Why?
But sir, previously it is not like that.
No, sir. I am telling you now. I am counter questioning you something. Please tell me. Now, do you think it is right? I think no. Why will I disclose my location to Google every time when I transfer money?
No, sir.
Am I right or wrong? You tell me, sir. Why will I disclose my location every time to Google when I am transferring money? Is it compulsory? The answer is no. Google is a third-party service provider, right?
Yes, sir.
So please use NEFT. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, that's why you see we can only minimize the risk. We cannot eliminate. Now you can tell me, sir, in NEFT they will not want my location, but definitely they know the IP address of my computer. From there they can track my location. Now my question, my question is, in that case, Google can also know the IP address of my mobile phone. Then why are they wanting my location? They will say it's a security measure. Why will they will say it's a security measure. Why will I disclose my security matter to someone whom I don't even know? I know the company called Google, that too not personally, but do you know who are the persons working at the back end? I think no.
Yes, sir.
So why will you unnecessarily disclose the information? Am I able to answer?
Phone Pay does not require it. Only Google Pay.
Sir, please don't use any third-party provider unless
it
is required, because the onus is on Phone Pay. Do you know anybody in Phone Pay? I think no.
Sir.
But if it is HDFC Bank, you know the bank. You know the official hierarchy where you can apply if something goes wrong. Okay. And here only if there is any problem, God forbid, you just need to run from pillar to post. You go to the police, go to the lawyer, go to the, then you have tensions and everything. Here at least the bank has some onus. In my case, Kotak Bank had that onus. Because I mailed them all the documents. You see, this I have done. Now tell me, sir, where am I wrong? They could not answer me. They had to reimburse me the money back. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Am I able to answer you, Mr. Jyotirmoy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions?
You, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions?
So I don't think there is no questions from student. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will like to
Thank you, sir.
hear more such
Thank you.
speeches
Thank you.
from you.
Thank you.
Sir, I have just one question.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
said that you perform transactions say after 11 p.m. or so, maybe
Yes.
at some particular time. So why is it so, or how is it related to security? It's,
No, it's not security that directly. Indirectly, it is. I found that at night, particularly, the bandwidth is much more in my locality.
yes.
The internet service is much more uninterrupted.
Okay.
Secondly, one more thing I would like to tell. You see, there are many social factors associated. Now, when I'm transacting, there is a phone call coming or something. Someone wants me to address a particular problem from my family. Now, in this case, what happens is, I don't have any onus. After 11 p.m., I know these disturbances are going to come to a minimum, right?
Yes, sir.
That is why these are the cofactors, ma'am. You're absolutely right. There is no direct correlation, but it's indirect. For example, I'm transferring at 11 p.m. I'm sure nobody will call me at that point of time unless there is an emergency.
Yes.
But if I'm transferring at 2 p.m., suppose there is a call or there is a WhatsApp or there is an email, at least for that time being, I get distracted. Na?
Yes, sir. It happens.
So that is why these are social cofactors, ma'am. We need to, at least I need to account for before I make any.
You are absolutely correct. This happens for most of the time. This happens.
Ma'am, it is always better whenever you do any electronic transaction, keep a fixed time, and preferably when the chance of getting disturbed or getting interrupted is minimum. We cannot eliminate, ma'am, but we can always minimize, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you. I hope that students liked. I tried to convey it in as simple way as I can. So I have given my mail ID. If there are any observations, kindly let me know. I will be very happy to answer your questions.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
so what do you
Yes,
think? Online transaction is better or not?
safer.
What do you think?
It's not a question of better or worse. It's a question of safer. Always safer. Always safer. Always safer than offline. Definitely. Always
Like,
safer because you have every document. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
So nowadays many scam or online scam is there. So what do you think? It is safe or not?
Definitely, it is much safer, sir. You go for finding out the offline scams. Okay. For example, when you make an NEFT transfer, immediately the transaction is recorded in your passbook. Instead of that, if you go and pay a check, number one, bank people are not going to stamp the counterfoil because of corona. They will say you put it in the Dropbox, right? Then you
Yes,
wait for 3 to 4 days unless the transaction is recorded. Okay. And in online, it is instant transfer. Instant.
Many hacker have changed their IP address in a second. So how can I
Sir,
track them?
sir, I tell you something. If
Yes.
you minimize the number of outlets, that means, for example, in my case, I use only HDFC Bank, no other bank for online transaction. Okay.
Okay.
If you minimize the number of outlets, if you minimize the number of ATM machines where you visit to withdraw money, okay, automatically the probability of hacking will be minimized. I told you at the very outset, sir, we cannot eliminate, we can only minimize. Okay. Nowadays, your banks, including national banks, are telling you that please download app. Punjab National Bank told me, please download app to check the balance. The moment you are downloading the app, you are going online, right?
Yes,
They
sir.
are not printing the passbook because nowadays they also have their staff problem. They cannot deploy so many staff in one particular branch.
Every bank has their own app.
So the moment you are using the apps, what I want you is not to use the apps, to use the website. That's all. And if you use the app only for the reading purpose, not for anything else. Okay. Instead, you use their phone numbers. For example, Punjab National Bank has their own phone number. You call them, they will tell you the balance. They will not tell you, they will send you the message by balance by WhatsApp or by SMS. I'm sorry, not by WhatsApp.
On
Okay.
your way, it is more safer than offline. in your way?
According to me, it is definitely it is more
Yes, sir.
safer.
I know
Definitely.
what your opinion about offline and online. Just that's my question.
Offline and online. Go offline only when it is necessary. Otherwise, not.
Okay, sir.
And reasons I've already told you. If you do online, for example, if you go to a bank to make any FD, they will deduct money from your account, right? As a service charge. Okay. Unless and until you are a very high valued bank account holder, right?
Yes, sir.
In case of NEFT from home, you don't need to pay anything. Everything is recorded immediately. So why would you go offline? Please
Right,
try
sir.
to understand, sir, before we conclude. Pandemics, this corona will stay with us. It is my personal observation. Vaccination will minimize the risk of mortality, but corona will stay with us. Okay. So it is a precondition for us to get accustomed to these offline online techniques, preferably the online ones. Okay. That
Yes,
is
sir.
why through my presentation I propose some prevention measures which will definitely minimize the risk of fraud.
But many of them how don't know how to use online transaction. Many of
Sir,
them.
sir, you should learn this. Okay. I
I
learned.
still don't know, sir.
I am having online. I am using Google Meet only after maybe after I reached 40. I never used Google Meet before. Okay, and now my daughter, who is 8 years old, uses Google Meet to chat with her friends.
So I am talking about village part, not town part, sir.
See, I tell you something. There I follow the Sri Ramakrishna policy, which was proposed by Swami Vivekananda. Be and make. First, you be aware, and then make at least one person aware of it. If they are
Sir,
at fault, I'm
I'm
sorry.
totally agree with you. I'm totally agree with you. But sir, my question is that uh, many of them in village, not town part, sir, village part, don't know how to use online transaction. What is Google Pay? What is Phone Pay? What is Beam app?
How many villagers have you seen without mobile? I have not seen many. Have you seen people, villagers without mobile? Forget
No.
about the remotest part of the story. There you have many other provisions which we are in city not aware of. Okay. But
Yes.
I tell you, if you have helping hands at home, I'm sure you have some helping hands at home, right?
Yes, sir.
If one of them you can train, that person will take the responsibility to train his or her family members, because everyone, even from the poorest of the section of the society, at least in Kolkata I have seen, I don't know about the village, I should not comment on something which I don't know, they have mobile connections. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one
I,
thing.
yes, sir.
Sir, what is the credit score? Please describe, sir.
What is the
Credit score.
credit score? Credit score to is number one. It's not a part of our discussion today. Number two, credit score basically defines defines the limit that you obtain after using your credit card. That is a different issue. That's not a part of our discussion today, because the credit score helps you to determine the amount of loan you are going to get, the amount of credit facility you are going to get as per your when you buy using something using credit card. But that is not a part of our discussion today, Mr. Shomraj. Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
can we wind up the session, or
Yes.
is there any
No,
more?
no. Ma'am, I am ready, but actually the students were asking, so
Yes,
I
yes,
was.
definitely. They are taking interest in asking the questions.
No,
Students,
I am also feeling honored. They are asking me so many questions.
once again, I am asking if anyone has any query regarding online security issues in online transaction, please ask. Okay. So,
Okay.
with this, we come to the
No,
end.
I think, ma'am,
No, ma'am,
ma'am.
I have some question and I have some queries.
Yes,
Yes.
Kasturi, please ask.
Okay, so I would like to say, sir, there are so many apps, just like Google Pay, Paytm, and Amazon Pay, whatever. And is this safe?
I told you no at the very outset. They are all third-party providers, ma'am. Why will you use it unless and until it is not necessary? Tell me.
When I was able to transacting via direct pay, like via direct credit card or debit card, they will give some option just like BillDex, Razorpay, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. So Is this also?
Better to use bank service, better to pay by NEFT, if not by debit card, preferably not by credit card, because in debit card what happens, if you have money you will pay, if you don't have money you will not pay, right?
Yeah.
In credit card that the story is a bit different. So better you use for NEFT or you go for debit card, and those of you will give you the option to pay by NEFT or credit card, they will definitely offer you to pay by debit card as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Please don't depend on third-party providers unless and until it is mandatory. If it is mandatory, pay from that particular account where the balance is minimum. If there is any fraud, God forbid, you are at least mentally balanced. Otherwise, you will lose your balance, na?
Yeah, sure. Okay, definitely. It's
Okay.
practical and fact also. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Kosturi ma'am, am I able to answer your question? Ma'am, am I able to answer your question?
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
I think students have so many queries.
No, it's okay. I don't have any problem. I like to answer queries because I think my effort is rewarded in this way, ma'am.
Definitely, and it is in these days online crime has increased so much that it is really a matter of concern.
Ma'am, that is why I chose this particular topic, because this topic, you see, this is going to stay with us. We have to be accustomed with online
Yes.
payment.
Yes.
For example, in St. Xavier's College, there every transaction is online. Whoever is coming from whichever part of the country, they all are paying online money only. So you have to.
Even all these students, they are also paying
So-
their semester fees, exam fees.
Yeah, have to pay because of the recording and the security factor. Have to pay.
Yes.
And the government also encourages. You see, every government, state government, central government, banks, they will all encourage.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay,
finally,
Okay.
we come to the end of